Hello.
Hey, Mickey. How's it
Hey,
going?
Zach. Good. Apologies for my delay. I was thinking we're starting at 1:45. So
No problem. I know I chose a weird time. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started here. So thanks for your time again, Mickey. We have some agencies on the line to kind of listen in, get a little bit more understanding of the request that you have open here, and to ask any questions that they need to kind of dive in a little bit more in.
sure.
So I'm gonna first just go over logistics if that works, and then I'll hand it over to you to kind of just fill everyone in on what type of candidate you're looking for this role and what it entails, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Great.
Cool. All right. So first off, everyone, we have listed a start date of 9/27, but we're really just looking as soon as possible. So that's kind of factoring in background screen and all that fun stuff. Estimated end date is for 9/23 of next year. So we're looking at a 12-month assignment essentially here. Quick question, Mickey, is there any chance of extension past that date, or are we looking at kind of a hard stop at that point and rolling off?
Yeah, I mean, we would ideally, if everything's working out real well, we would, and it's, a good performer and good engineer, we would probably look to want to convert them to permanent at that point.
Okay, perfect. No, that's helpful. Location. So we have the client location listed as Overland Park in Kansas, but just from talking to Mickey yesterday, this is open to virtual, and don't want to step on any toes here, but it's virtual just anywhere within the US. Is that accurate still?
Yeah, that's correct. And briefly, we're over the last year and a half been primarily remote, so very open to that. It is part of our longer term plan, and even as the offices, our office is currently closed, or only minimally open, but that flexible work style is a part of our longer term plan now.
Okay.
So I think for we're definitely seeing that as a benefit, a work-life benefit for all our professionals. So
yeah,
definitely want to highlight that for folks that are interested in that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And then just last little thing. So this is a process engineer 2. The supervisor, once someone is identified, we have listed as Derek Ogg. So Mickey's, for all intents and purposes, going to be the official manager, but Derek will be that dotted line and day-to-day supervisor. And then we have the description listed in here, and I know it's fairly broad, so that's really the whole point of these calls, aside from questions.
Sure.
So Mickey, do you want to just kind of jump right in and just kind of, in your opinion, explain what type of candidate you're looking for and what the true duties would entail?
Yeah, absolutely. Great. And so for our process engineers, definitely a core part of our workflow and our whole business model, really, in our gas, fuels, and chemicals line. Creating, we're I guess taking a step back from the business perspective. We do a lot of front end work, and that's our the industry model, and we fall in line with that. We do a lot of front end work that some of which advance to the detailed engineering and EPC phase. But that front end work is very process engineering intensive. So our process engineers are developing the flow, the flow sheet initially, heat and material balances with simulations. That upfront piece is a big part of it, and then carrying that through the front end development, into P&IDs, and then specifying the equipment. The markets we're working in right now most heavily are LNG, and specifically floating LNG. We have our own liquefaction technology, and the fertilizer industry with ammonia and urea work. So any experience there, it would be a benefit, but definitely not a requirement. Moving on into the future, biofuels. We have a few biofuels projects beginning this year. um, as well as we have a lot of hydrogen, smaller projects, smaller studies. So I know hydrogen and biofuels are large growth areas that are really, really taking off for us right now. So I think from, talking to candidates, if those are areas of interest for them, that's what we'll be working in. Again, for us, it's not really, with a level 2, we're not necessarily looking for that specific background. We can teach them the technology. We're really just looking for, eager, hardworking folks, intelligent, learn quickly, motivated. The behavioral type things are as important. Good, strong technical basis, and so strong school. We'd be looking at their GPA for this young of folks. But we don't need a 4.0. We're in that kind of 3.4 to 3.7 range is where we have a lot of success with finding the right folks that are well-rounded, not purely academic not 100% academic, but that well-rounded, strong and eager, and those behaviors are as big a part of our decision making as the and success really on our team, as just the 100% technical side. Anyways, so that's kind of what we're looking for. Definitely eager to answer any questions or follow-ups y'all have.
Yeah, absolutely. I got maybe 1-2 still quick hitter questions, and I'll open up to the agencies here.
Okay, great.
But do you have any, I don't want to say preference, but as far as the schooling, do you know any, programs have had a lot of success for bringing in people kind of fresh out of school that Black and Veatch typically targets, or you're open to any? You just want to see that, they've studied this realm and performed well?
Yeah, really. I mean, so we've had more with our process engineering team has centralized in Kansas City and Houston, but it's really been Kansas City over the years, historically, and that's changed more over the last few years. So historically, we kind of have a regional basis around Kansas City where we've had success, but I definitely don't want to limit it to that, because we are looking, more. That specific location is less of a driving factor than it has in the past. So, just strong technical, reputable technical programs, chemical engineering programs.
Okay. And then next question is just strictly interviews. How do you want to go about that? Because I know it varies manager by manager and business unit by business unit. Is it going to be just first round directly with yourself or Derek? Or do you have anyone else in mind? And then how is kind of the final and this deciding round going to be?
Yeah, it kind of look on, depending on volume, but first round will be with Derek. If Derek has, again, for a level 2 person, he may be able to make the determination at that point. So I'd say that's a possibility. Okay. Because we're not going to need to drill real hard on technical expertise. So, but it may broaden it out to a couple other, follow up with 1 or 2 others as well. But looking to move, pretty quickly. Okay. With that, yeah.
Okay, and is that just going to be like a Teams interview, or do you need to see someone like physically on site for that?
Yeah, Teams interview.
Teams, cool. All right, cool.
Teams or Zoom or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the system is. But okay, cool. I'm just gonna open it up to the agencies here. So guys, do you have any questions for Mickey to drill down into the duties, the skill set, anything else that popped in your head during our conversation about this role?
Actually, I do. This is Monique from ASAP. You mentioned that the interviewing you're going to be doing the interviews as first round. So I was just wondering what your interview style is going to be. Is it going to be more behavioral, or is it going to be more conversational, or is it going to be a combination of them both? Since you are going to be looking for them to be highly skilled and prove it through education.
Yeah, I would say it'll be a combination. We have a pretty casual conversational approach, but with a behavioral focus. If that answers the question adequately, Monique?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Great.
All right, Ashley.
I have a couple quick questions for you. So, just from a degree perspective, are you only considering those with, say, chemical engineering degrees, or are there any other science or engineering degrees that you've seen be successful on your teams previously?
Yeah, good question. Definitely our preference, and to put it in context, our group is probably 90+% chemical engineering. We do have a few others, a couple of mechanical engineering background, and that have advanced degrees as well. But again, those are more the exception. So we're certainly looking at chemical, but that's our primary. If there are others with a specific interest or that have gotten some hands-on experience that didn't in an operating facility, process industry facility, that don't have a chemical background or chemical degree, we would look at that.
Hey, this is Helene with AWIS. If you could just help me understand, what would be your top 3 skill set that would separate one candidate from another?
Yeah, so I think that again, for a level 2 person, we would be looking at the academic background to be comfortable with the technical foundation would be one piece. From a behavioral perspective, just the self-starter, high curiosity, high interest in the industry, in the types of projects that we're working on, and I would say that those are really the 2 primary, for that entry level person. I shouldn't say entry level, but early career.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And Ashley, did you have another question?
Yeah, I think you just answered it though. So
Okay.
you wouldn't necessarily take someone straight out of school. You'd like to see at least, like, say, an internship or a year experience or something like that.
Yeah, we're not looking for a graduate for this. We'd want probably I'd say 1 to 3 years experience.
If they had a master's degree and were straight out of school, would you potentially consider? Or need that work?
That's potentially, but that would definitely be lower on the list. Again, we want somebody with a little bit of working experience.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good questions. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I have a quick question. This is Keely from Equity. So I know you said obviously self-starter, mostly looking at education, but there isn't any kind of like software or technology that would stand out to you on a resume within that first year of experience?
No, I mean, we do from a software perspective, we use Aspen HYSYS, and Pro 2 and Pro Max are the primary simulation tools we use. So that would be maybe a benefit, but again, we pretty comfortable that if they didn't have that experience, that would be able to teach it to them at the early stage of the career. So that shouldn't be. I don't want to restrict anyone based on a lack of that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought I heard someone else. There you go.
This is Jim from Titan, and if you could just give me a quick overview of a day in the life of this person once they
Sure.
get up to speed, that'd be great.
Yeah, so they would, typically, they'd be working on a team of, on a project team that probably has anywhere from 2 to 6 process engineers. So supporting their lead process engineer, they wouldn't be leading, creating the process simulation, but they'd be working within the simulation to generate the material balances, sizing equipment, and sizing pipe. So line sizing are some key activities that they'd likely be involved with. Generating the PFDs, so process flow diagrams, working with our process graphics group, so checking on PFDs as well as P&IDs. So working pretty closely with the graphics group to back check and redline those diagrams to issue with the client. As probably minimal client interface initially, but that will grow, after they've been here a year to 2 years, they'll start to have more client interface. Some documentation of calculations, on the types of things that I already mentioned around, equipment sizing, line sizing, relief valve and control valve sizing are other key activities at that stage.
Thank you.
And I guess the other piece I would add is, a typical project typically have one main project that they're working on that could last anywhere from a few months to up to a year. There'll be transition periods where they may be working on multiple projects, but that's kind of a typical duration. So kind of see it from front to back. And the other, I guess one follow-up too would be opportunities to follow a project into the field for commissioning. That wouldn't be early on. That would probably be, if they're, working on a project that goes through detailed engineering, they'd have the opportunity to follow that up into the site for commissioning.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Mickey. Steve, did you have a question? I see your name popping up here, but if not, no worries. Steve Folks.
Nope, all good.
That's not. Okay, cool. Just checking. All right, cool. Thank you, Mickey. I think this is going to be super helpful. Our agencies will get on this right away, and we should get some candidates coming in the near future. But yeah, everyone on the call, if you have anything you think of after the fact, just shoot me an email, and I'll reach out to Mickey to get a quick answer. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good day.
All right. Appreciate everybody. Look forward to the candidates. Bye now.